As some of you guys know, I've been after a new car and I didn't know what to get because there's so many options. I'm very proud of my choice and I'm very happy with what I went for. So I ended up sticking with what I know. I went for the Mk4 Golf GTI. And here we are, almost 2 years later, well, 1.5 years later, and it's currently looking like this. Yeah. So I bought this Volkswagen Golf Mk4 1.8 turbo 20 valve GTI last February. Before I start this video, I want to set the goal of 200 likes. I think we can do it. I think the most I've ever had in about 1 to 2 days after the video release is 180. So if you're watching this right now, press the like button, please. I want that to be the goal. Let's get onto the car and what I've done to it. Technical aspects of it. A 2002 Mk4 1.8 turbo. The engine code is AUM, which means it has a KO3S turbo. Stock, it produces 150 brake horsepower, and I don't know what torque is, probably next to nothing. I bought this car completely stock. I didn't want a car that had been owned by another owner and abused. I think this car had 2 owners. It has the winter pack, I forgot to mention that. So the winter pack comes with these. They're not fake, and I will demonstrate that now. As you can see, not fake. Has a winter pack when it usually comes. Also comes with mud flaps and heated leather seats. So yeah, that's the stock car out the way. Now let's go on to the exciting stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to wipe that out. That just looks stupid. Somewhere in here I have the list of mods, because I can't remember them. You sure they're in here? I mean, I got my old GCSE notes in here, but I don't think that would help. Just ignore this bit of paper, don't point the camera at the bit of paper because that's embarrassing. But I've prepared for this. The very first mod that I got in probably the first week of owning this car. I bought this car February 2017. Almost the same week I got these headlights. I cannot tell you where I got them from, they were secondhand. I got them secondhand for £100, but I think they were brand new. I've seen similar ones on eBay, but I'm not sure where the actual proper ones are. Yeah, so these are halos. I don't know how well that shows up. They've been pretty good for the like 1.5 years I've owned them. That one did have a fault with the ground earth, I think. I didn't unplug anything, I just sort of messed around with the wires and then it seems to be fine. So that immediately set the look for, you know, like the dark, the evil look, which is why I did some of the other bits, which I'll get onto. Also at the same time, because I had a 1.4 Golf before that, which I had BBS replicas, I put them on. I don't have them on now, so I'm just sort of skipping past that because I got rid of them. Because I got bored of them, I thought they didn't look very nice. Within the month of buying it, I loaded it immediately because it was on my mind and I just had to. So this is loaded on 40mm H+R Springs. They're quite a comfy ride. They're from Euro car parts, and I can't tell you exactly which ones they are, they're just 40mm. Then in March, when I still had the stock bumpers, front and back, I painted the valances, which you'll see on screen, which was like this part. Colour coded it to the car, which made it look a bit cleaner, a bit more like the anniversary edition, rather than just a stock turbo. From that video, that was the most embarrassing painting ever I've done, I think. I don't know why. If you go back to that video, I spray it like that. Like, I didn't go like that. I don't know why I went like that, and there's so many comments on that, and yeah, I don't know why I did that. I then bought the spacers for the wheels, which gave it a fat look. 20mm spacers on the back, 15 on the front. The reason I did that is because someone told me that the rear is naturally slightly wider, so to make it flush and even, you get 15 for the front and 20 on the rear. And then in April, we did stuff to the inside. It's not very nice in here because I haven't cleaned it. Well, I mean, I did clean it, but this is everything I've done to the interior in April time. So this is net Optic trim, all of this, apart from this, which is the anniversary gear stick. I never found the net Optic version of climate control. There's net Optic dials, sorry, here. Net Optic dials, but never anniversary. But Jack with his R32, hopefully, is giving me his R32 climate control when I go up to Vag Tuners in July. I've bought the same ones in here, but they're still in my shed after about a year of owning them and I haven't done anything. So that's what I need to get around to doing. And yeah, the video where I did that, there's a lot of funny comments on it because I think that's the most disliked video I've ever made. Or it could be the resonator delete that I did, I don't know. Anyway, moving on to the front of the car again. This is in May. I Plasti-Dipped the grille. It wasn't actually Plasti-Dip, but it's very similar. There are a few stone marks obviously, so I could do with respraying it, but for a year of Plasti-Dip, that's not bad. And then at around the same time I did the resonator delete, which was the first exhaust mod I did, and these fucking birds. At the time was I on a black box then? When I wanted to do that, insurance was a lot, and I couldn't declare mods. I couldn't declare any mods. I declared the wheels and I think they said, yeah, give us 300, so I was like, I don't have any wheels. I don't advise not declaring your mods, by the way. You should declare your mods all the time, just in case you get into a crash, and then, yeah, you're safe. So I did the resonator delete, and that didn't sound great. But it was a little bit deeper, but not really noticeable. So we come to June, so this was a year ago. I bought the bumpers. This bumper is fresh paint, because when I bought it, it had a little chip and peel. It was peeling there, but the rear one, I dropped. In one of the videos I dropped it, so if you ever come close to my car you'll see all these because I dropped the bumper. But apart from that, it's pretty solid. The only thing I don't like, how when I got my exhaust, I'll talk about this in a minute, but this, when I had to cut this was very loose, and I think I tiger sealed it to the top because that was really loose and it looked shit basically. So once I got the bumpers, I decided to debadge the Golf from it. So originally the GTI was over there and it said Golf here, but I debadged the Golf and left the GTI and everything standard. We didn't get to painting it until a few months back, but that's what I did. And then I installed the boost gauge. Yeah, just ignore the ringing. It lights up. I have done a tutorial on where to plug it in. I have moved it since though, and it's still wired in here where I wired it. I can't really remember why. I think I wired it into this so that it dims when you dim it and so forth, and yeah, you get the idea. And I didn't do much until October. October was the time I could get a new insurance. I got a new insurance quote, and immediately I fitted the new exhaust system, which sounds good, but not as good as I want it to be, I think. I don't really know. I'll give it a rev for you guys. So it's pretty quiet on idle until you open it up. It sounds good, but it doesn't have the pop or crack. I hope it would, but it doesn't have the crack. It didn't have the crackle and pop I hoped it would from a Decat. So what this currently is I think it's a 3-inch Decat downpipe to a 2.5-inch Catback. Obviously there's no cat. Non-resonated back box, so it still has the back box. The back box is the only thing left, but I want to change it up to having only the resonator because I want it slightly louder, but then again I don't know if I do, because sometimes I want it louder, sometimes I just want it to be discreet, but I don't know. You can't really see this one because it's under the car, but I installed a Powerflex dog bone bushing mount that nearly landed in my hand. That basically just holds the engine a bit sturdier, especially when you have a downpipe, a bigger downpipe. It doesn't rattle as much and things less like, what's the word? It's less And then that was Christmas time. That was around November. So for Christmas, I got, which I still think is my favourite mod. Ignore all of this. This was all completely standard before you saw this. This is what I got for Christmas. This is a Round Air cold induction. No, it's not. It's not even cold. It's just slightly less warm. I don't know. It's not even less warm. It's just a cone filter. But it opens up the turbo more, so you can then hear the diverter valve. You can hear the turbo spool, so you can hear it suck in more, and then you can hear it go tsh at the same time. It's a very nice sound. Bought by Lucy for me. Thank you very much. And then let me see what I did after that, because I completely forgot. Oh yeah, I bought a spoiler. I got the spoiler. This is the second time this has been glued on because it came off the first time. Make sure you actually sand, if you're going to put a spoiler on, make sure you sand it completely, and also key the metal so it has something to glue on, and then just clean it like mad, otherwise it will come off. This is an eBay spoiler, and I wanted it in black because currently at the time I had the front grille and I had the headlights. And it was your birthday present from July that you got in January because your mum wrote an IOU. Oh yeah. And you got it 6 months later. That was you didn't pay for that. Oh, I didn't buy that. Thanks, Mum. So I painted it black because obviously I had the badge and then the headlights, and I wanted something black on the rear. Oh, I completely forgot to mention this. This was the first mod I did to the car, I think, along with the wheels, because I had this on my old car. So these are eBay, I believe. No, they're not. They're rear lights. Oh yeah. I can't actually remember, it's been such a long time. I've had these for like 2 years, and the brake light, the earth is really dodgy on these, so I need to weld them. But anyway, I'm sorry I can't give you more detail on that because I can't remember. I did the badge and then, no, I did this. Oh yeah.
Every time you get your notes out, so I zoom in on the notes to be funny, and then the second I zoom in, you go, oh yeah, in the same voice every time.
Still in January. Well, it's not even there anymore because I got rid of it, but I did have Forge 007 diverter valve, which I replaced for the stock diverter valve, which is right here, this thing. So I replaced that for a Forge one, serviced it, had it cleaned up, all good and nice. I put it in my car for what must have been 2 days. The forum said you don't really need that. Anything under 300 brake horsepower, you don't really need an uprated diverter valve, and the stock one will hold fine. I wanted my money back and I sold it to spend on other things, so why would I keep it if I don't need it? And then February, I serviced the car because it needed a service because I had now owned it a year. Yay, happy anniversary. So what did I do? I changed the spark plugs, I changed the oil, and I changed the coolant, and I changed... Can't actually remember. What did you do on a service?
Don't know, watch your video.
Yeah, just watch my video basically. Oil was 5W40, I think. Spark plugs are BK, you know, I'll find it and I'll put it in the description. Everything for my car and what I've done to it is in the description, by the way, if you guys get confused or if I'm talking too fast, because I notice in my videos I do talk rather fast.
You sped up just to say that specific sentence, didn't you?
Maybe a little bit. And then I sprayed the valve cover for the first time. It's not this beautiful colour that you're seeing here. It was a dumbed down version of the valve cover, because currently I wanted this colour in the first place, but they didn't sell it in the UK, and then I found this colour like 2 weeks ago and I was like, oh my god, it's finally in the UK, so I bought it and I sprayed. Yeah, we'll get onto that, but yeah, I sprayed that and it's rather simple. Whilst that's off, replace the rocker cover gasket and replace one that I did the other day, which I should have done in the first place, the tensioner, the chain tensioner, which is over here. So because you're taking this off anyway, obviously the gasket that runs all the way around, as the gasket is where the spark plugs are. If you look on the right of the engine bay, there's chains. And what you need is a special tool from eBay, which I will link in the description, put in and screw it down, which releases the tension of the chain, which means that you can then unbolt and get the old gaskets out. It seems really complicated, but I will link in the description a tutorial to do that, which I did, which makes it simple. So change that whilst you're taking that off. It'll help you a lot. Basically, at this point, I was like, well, I've done everything that I want to do to my car. I didn't say about the wheels.
What?
I don't remember when I bought the wheels. My R32 wheels. Let me just say this real quick. These are R32 wheels. I cannot for the life of me remember where I got them. When I got them, sorry. I think they were in August. I think they were in August last year, but I can't remember.
You would have said it in a video.
Yeah, they're 18-inch R32 Genuine Alloys, so just go watch the video. So this was the point where I was happy with how my car looks, and I wanted to do the engine bay. I wanted to tune it, I wanted to mod it, and this, you know, I started off with the car, I was like, oh, I'll just get stage 1. I'll just remap it, get an extra 30, 40 brake horsepower. And then I got the ram air because that's a quick, easy thing to do. And then I googled it and apparently that gives you an extra 5 to 10 brake horsepower. If I've got that, and I'm gonna get it remapped, might as well get an intercooler to get it even more. If I've got that and I'm gonna remap it, I might as well just go all the way, and I just went straight for stage 2, which is what I'm going to. Straight for stage 2, which, yeah, so in the middle of being broke, I didn't really know what else to do whilst being broke. I know that I needed to get the intercooler, I know that I needed to get the turbo inlet pipe and the fuel pump. The next thing I did was a simple, not really simple, but it's a cheap to free mod that you can do. It deletes everything on your car which you don't need. Usually, if you were to look in your engine bay, there would be a cover here. You take that off and then you see like 2 tubes, and you look down there and you see some pump, loads of wires hanging all about and shit, and it's not necessary. So what that is a secondary air injection pump, the N249, which sits on top of the engine bay, and that keeps sticking to that. Yeah, the N249 and something else. There was another plate on here which you just delete. I've made a video on that as well at the same time. Doing those deletes, it basically removes extra vacuum line, so there's less leaks. The engine is less dependent on the ECU telling it what to do. So you put your foot down, the ECU would then decide, oh yeah, let's put the foot down and let's spool the turbo. You get rid of that, and it's sort of like getting out the middleman, put your foot down and the turbo goes, you know what I mean? Some say it's dangerous, some say it destroys your engine and turbo, but a lot of people say do it, so I did it. And then that is when I installed this thing. Well, I didn't install it, I had Dan's help. This lovely looking thing, and that has been hitting the top of that. Proof! That's been hitting on the intercooler. See, or maybe that's me just now, maybe because, oh, I'll sort it, whatever. This intercooler is, I believe it's a TurboSmart intercooler. Custom pipes. If you watch the video, you'll see why I say custom, because this was not a straight fit at all, and it's a bit messy. And yeah, it's not great. It's not really what you want. It goes from the turbo to here, and then down, and then it gets cooled, and then it goes back into the throttle body. The reason that you want an intercooler, a front mount intercooler, because it has a stock intercooler on the side. The intercooler does not aid performance, as in if you install it, it doesn't magically give you like 10 brake horsepower. It stops heat soak. So when you come to tune it, you may get 230 brake horsepower, but heat soak would mean that you lose the power, if that makes sense, because it gets too hot. Does that make sense? So if you had a front mount intercooler, more's getting cooled, a lot easier. It's bigger pipes as well, heat soak stops, and it means that you can now get 240 because heat soak doesn't stop it. Make sense? I hope so.
What month are we up to?
Oh yeah, I sort of stopped saying that, didn't I? We're up to April. This one you can't see again. I swapped out the wishbones because my wishbone bushings, if you look into the wheel and you look at the wishbones, you could see they were cracked. So I was like, oh God, I need to get them replaced. So whilst I was getting them replaced, I saw on eBay that you can get R32 bushings, which is just slightly stiffer. You can also get Powerflex bushings, which makes it incredibly stiff, but my car is not a track car. It's like my daily that I tune, so I didn't want it super stiff. It makes the handling a lot better, basically. Is install the catch can, which is this thing. This is from Creation Motorsport. Once again, the link will be in the description. So what the catch can does, you basically install the catch can and you get rid of all the unnecessary pipes under here and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense, right? So it just goes straight from there to then into the valve cover, and then into the catch can, and then from the catch can into the whatever. You'll see the video if you watch the video once again. These are the last few weeks. Final mods that I did to get my car ready for stage 2 was this fat thing, which was an absolute pain in the arse. There's an oversized tip, again, from Creation Motorsport. If you need any advice on fitting this, I've made a video on it.
Not the most informative video.
Not the most informative. It's basically me raging the whole time because it wasn't a straight fit at all. But we got it on in the end. It's oversized. If you compare the original to that, it's like that one is like that big, the original that big. You can see why it would help flow. The final mod, the actual mod I did for stage 2, I don't know why I'm going around the back, you can't see it, is the fuel pump, uprated fuel pump.
You did a video on.
Which I did a video on. For the last two, I can't really explain it, it's just get this to be safe. The fuel pump, okay, no, the turbo inlet pipe was necessary because that does give you an extra like 10 to 15 brake horsepower from a mat, whereas a fuel pump was just to be safe in case the old one was knackered. You might as well get an uprated one whilst you're at it. Does that make sense? Of course it does. And then finally, I painted the calipers because this was now in stock. I could get this colour, which was in stock. Did the rears, which is looking very nice. Yeah, boy, she's not wearing like nothing. She does have shorts on. There we go. And yeah, and then I think yesterday I got this on. That's when I eventually changed, because the reason I didn't put this on in the first place was because I needed the special tool to replace the gasket I mentioned earlier. The first tool I got broke, so I ordered another one, and then that worked. And then I silicone sealed everything, all the corners, all the cracks, and all the bits like that. So yeah, no leaks in the car. It's actually running pretty bang on. I can't, I just know that my face is there. Shout out to Will for the haircut, by the way. Thank you. It's very nice. I do rate it. I think that's sort of everything. This is my car, this is the engine bay. There's a lot of things that I could do. For example, the blue pipe. The blue pipe, I want to change all of those to black like this. I forgot to say also, I don't know why I forgot this, when I painted the manifold, that was shortly after painting that, when I replaced the injector seals because they were leaking. Everything was basically leaking. I recommend, as soon as you get one of these cars, if you buy them, and if you haven't done it already, replace the rocker cover gasket, replace the tensioner gasket, injector seals and cups, just in case, but you'll need to take that out to do it because you don't want anything falling into the engine. And whilst that's out, paint it. And then obviously replace the gasket to put this back on. Don't reuse gaskets. Oh yeah, then also a nice touch, I moved this from there to here because it looks better. There was a few little mods as well, like I replaced the coolant because it was dirty, with the coolant expansion tank because it was dirty. And my throat is really beginning to hurt. Yeah, I've been talking for a long time. This was all part of the catch can install, I think. All of the hoses I've replaced. I just want to say, my #1 tip, if you're going to get one of these cars, replace the hoses, replace the gaskets, clean the throttle body, clean the MAF sensor, and Google. Literally just Google. Google the things that you should do to keep this running. I hope this video has helped if people if people are going to mod their Mk4 1.8 turbos, my car's come a long way from being standard to this. Like when I bought the car, like I said, I was never going to take it to stage 2. I wanted to get it remapped, but then I got the ram air filter, and I was like, well, if I'm going to get that, I might as well get the next part, and I might as well get the next part. You know, it just builds up and it leads up. So just make sure you always service it every year, and just make sure it's been looked after, and it will treat you good. And you know what, I've just thought, I'm going to be really pissed off if the fucking microphone has done that stupid buzzing noise across the whole thing. I really hope it hasn't. If you guys are seeing this, it should be fine. So that's my car. What do you think? I forgot to say I also painted the back. There's so many things that I just keep forgetting to say. Like, for example, I got the black wing mirrors and I painted the back badges. The
badges black.
Yeah. There's little ones, and I'm sorry I haven't mentioned anything because there is a lot. Yeah, I've mentioned all the big bits. So you got to this stage, your car is modded up, everything is ready to go. You now need to make sure everything is perfectly running, which is what the next video will be. From everything here, I think I've got about 8 codes. So we're going to be, in the next video, we're going to be checking the codes. We're going to be making sure everything's running perfectly, and it's going to be boosting what it should be boosting, and it's going to be idling like it should. Because you want this car, you want your car running perfect before you map it, because otherwise it will blow up. Or they just won't map it. Like Artec, if it's not running 100%, they'll send you home to fix it. I hope I haven't rambled too much. The plans for this car, book the map as soon as possible, and then if I have spare money lying around, there's just things that I'd like to change. The blue hose is like I mentioned. This stupid hose, pissed myself off with, because if you see where I painted that, and now this hose is getting like heated towards it, I need to put that block there. The paint stuck to that. I'm a little bit pissed off at myself for that. Google everything before you do it. There's a lot of things that I haven't mentioned, like the catch can, you need a certain amount of tubing, which I'm not going to include in the description, but if you literally just Google it, it'll be there. I know, I can all hear you asking in the comments, what is this? What is this all about? This is a new t-shirt that I'm bringing out this Sunday. Video will be dropping on it. I've got stickers, I've got 3 different types of stickers. I've got 4 t-shirts with 2 designs and 2 colours. I'm hyped, because I know there's been some of you asking, have I got merch? When's the merch dropping? Because I've hinted it. This Sunday, 6 PM, the merch will be going live, and I'll also post a video showing all the things I've got, just saying that it's live. The website, I'll leave a link in the description. It's currently down because obviously I'm still working on it. I'm still working out prices and things. There's going to be different prices, but I'll mention all that in Sunday's video once I've worked it out. Try and get this video to 200 likes. It would mean a lot. I'm also sorry about all the ads in this video. I'm going to put like 1 in the middle. It's a long video, and I think I deserve it, right? I deserve it for doing all this from my car and recording this like 20-minute long video for you guys. The car's not perfect, but it's my project and it's what I've worked on. And I've done most of it, if not all of it myself, or with the help of a friend or someone from Last Dub, for example. Go give them a follow if you haven't already noticed the sticker on my car. If anyone from Last Dub, one of the admins, is watching this, do you have a copper colour sticker like this? I would like that a lot to match my calipers rather than gold. If you have copper, let me know. Thanks. These guys, the forum on there on Facebook, and also they have a website, is where I got pretty much all the info for what to do to this car. Without that, I'd be questioning all over Facebook and I probably still wouldn't have an answer. So thanks for all your guys' support. I couldn't have done it without you. Like, I think there's almost 7,000 of us now, of you guys, so that means a huge amount. Actually, I'm actually not shattered for once, but my throat is just really hurting me because I've just been talking non-stop. There's a few shows that we're going to. The next one, I believe, is Vagatuners, I never know how you say it, at Donington Park on the 8th of July. So if you're there, come say hi. Yeah, I'm gonna go now because I can see that Lucy's getting a bit painful with the camera. It's hurting her arm. But yeah, thank you guys. Give me a follow, Twitter, Instagram. We have a Facebook, but I don't really use it because not much happens. And I'm gonna go now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.